I didn't know if I was going to have a job next, right? It was a tougher period. I'm a civil engineer. I've been in the industry for 9 years. And at the moment, I think it's a global phenomena. The economy is kind of at a wave, right? It's a bit neutral. I wouldn't say it's a recession, but it sure doesn't feel good. I was navigating that, thought to myself, I'm quite stressed. I think the best thing I can do, I love cars, it's a hobby, and I was driving a Suzuki Swift Sport at the time, right? I've got 2 cars, and that was my sort of car, and my other Toyota is a family car. And I thought, the Suzuki Swift Sport's nice, but maybe I'll just get something a bit nicer. So I went ahead and I bought myself a BMW. And a lot of people, they buy BMWs in these sorts of periods of their lives, right? It's really uncanny where a lot of people buy these used BMWs at a stage where, maybe they shouldn't. Now, my view, guys, is that a used BMW is always kind of that emotional decision, right? Because I think everyone knows, you, the viewers watching this, and other people, they know that it's not the wisest decision to make, right? It's not the smartest move they can make financially and in terms of repairs, maintenance, and responsibilities. But it's very emotionally charged. I went there, I didn't monitor the market for too long. I went there, I saw the car, and when you see that BMW for the first time, it looks absolutely immaculate, right? It's the most beautiful thing you've seen. All BMWs do that to you. I think German cars really do that to you, right? So I went and saw it. Beautifully well kept. It was an older couple, he was a grandpa and he had grandkids and stuff. He was getting a bit too old for it. And, the condition was great. The service history was really good. He was a tough negotiator, and I was going through this time in my life. I think I paid, more than I should have, right? And I think a lot of people, when they buy their BMWs, they end up doing the same as well, right? They don't quite understand the market. With the likes of a Yaris or a Corolla or a Camry, the market's usually very tight, right? If you see one listed, you're probably going to negotiate down maybe $1,000 or so. But if you negotiate down more than that, someone else is going to buy it, right? These cars are very tightly packed. BMW, Audi, Mercedes, these German cars, big variety, right? Someone could have it listed for $40,000 and it's actually going to sell at $30,000 if he wants to sell it tomorrow, right? And a lot of people don't realize this when they buy their first German car, and obviously I didn't realize it as well, right? So I went ahead and bought that. Immediately, I think I lost, $3,000 or $4,000 ASAP, right? But that's okay, because I loved that car and I was planning to keep it for a long time. It was beautiful, when you get that BMW, Audi, Mercedes, they truly are, cream of the crop. They truly are above the Japanese cars, right? This GR Yaris I've got, this is a literal race car. But if I put you in a BMW M235i, which is an M Light, not even a full-blown M car, that car is going to feel more special, right? Especially if you're not driving at the limit. At the limit, this thing will have it beat. In 9 out of 10 scenarios, that BMW is just going to blow you away with the popping exhaust, the ZF gearbox, which is creamy, the N55 motor, B58, S58, all those nice motors, right? So I love that car, but first day driving it back, guys, the belt came off, right? And this was 60,000 kilometers, and it was only 8.5 years, right? Old. So it was a 2015, and really it was a demo model, so it was first registered in 2017. So it was really a young car, spotless, and the belt came off, right? The pulley, one of the plastic pulleys fell right out and the belt popped off. Anyway, so I got my first bill with my BMW. It was a tough pill to swallow, but it's something that I was ready for because I'd done my research. I'd understood that the platform had its weaknesses, but I was disappointed, right? I didn't expect a car with such low kilometers and only 8.5 years old or so, literally grandma driven, to have this happen on the first day that I got it, right? Then, guys, over the coming months, if you buy an 8-year-old Camry, it's a whole different ballgame, right? The 8-year-old Camry, you probably don't even need to do a serpentine belt. You don't have to worry about transmission fluid. You don't have to worry about expensive brakes, expensive tires. You don't have to worry about anything, differential fluid. It'll just run, right? But you buy an 8-year-old BMW, everything's elevated, right? I think it's pretty similar. If you buy an 8-year-old GR Yaris, you're going to do a lot of that stuff. But I think for a BMW, it's much more elevated. And in the back of your mind, you're always feeling that pressure, right? That if you don't do it, the German car, it's not going to let it slide, right? So I had that in the back of my mind, and then I had some electrical issues start to happen on my car, right? And this is after paying a lot to get new brakes. I bought Brembo and Zimmermann rotors because I still wanted to own the car for a while, right? I still believed that as a BMW, it was still a quality product, and the internet, was wrong about everything. It was hyped up. And, I got it the best brakes. I got it really nice tires. And then the electric started playing up. And I thought to myself, this is an 8-year-old car and 60,000 kilometers. This is not good. So at that stage, I started to become a bit disgruntled with the vehicle. And it got so bad where I called BMW. I called BMW headquarters and I said, this is when you know it's time to sell the car, right? And I wasn't doing it from a place of money, guys, right? It's not about that, really. I was doing it from a place of disappointment. I was so disappointed and disenfranchised with the brand. How could you start having these basic electrical issues in a car that, if you look at the interior, my Yaris GR is so much newer, right? That BMW interior was even more well kept. So the owners, like, there was not a scratch on the car, right? I still can't believe it. My Yaris has, more scratches and stuff than that BMW in and out. So I was disappointed. I called BMW and I never really followed it up because it was just a spur of the moment thing. And really, guys, that was the journey of me sort of getting over the car and getting over the ownership experience, So I could deal with the maintenance because you buy an old German car, you're signing up for it. So I was doing my brakes, tires, I was going to change my transmission fluid. I did an engine flush. I was looking after the coolant flush next, and I understood that. And even the belt can be a maintenance item. But when you start getting these random repairs, it might be really cheap, but you think to yourself, this isn't what I want to sign up for. And in investing, if you've got a stock investing background, then there's a concept of sunken cost fallacy, and then there's a concept of stop loss orders, right? And this is basically where you buy a stock at $10 and you say, if it ever gets to $5, that's too much of a loss, I'm going to sell it. And I've always followed that sort of ethos of minimizing your downside risk, protecting your capital, and I could just see this BMW draining me, right? So I'm done. And I got rid of it, guys. And I got a good deal. And at the time, the GR cars, the GR Corolla, they had the whole fire thing going, right, in the States. And it was a time where that was really putting pressure on the price of the car, and I took kind of a contrarian position, right, where I did my research and I realized that these were isolated incidents that the internet was blowing up. But because of that, for some reason, the GR Yaris in Australia wasn't moving that well. So it was a good moment where I was desperate to get rid of my BMW, and I saw the GR Yaris, and that was in a position where it was not doing so well price-wise. And I thought, this is a great opportunity to get into a car, use my mechanical and engineering background, cut through the BS, and get a car that I think is going to last me well. And I did, right? So I ended up paying more for the GR Yaris. Obviously, it's a more valuable car than a used BMW. And now when I do maintenance on the GR Yaris, right, because it's a performance car, let's not forget that the maintenance is still high on this car. When I do the maintenance on this car, I feel secure, I feel good. And it's a few items. It's capital preservation. When I change the brakes and the tires or whatever I do to this car, or pay a lot for a service, I know that the resale value of this car is not going down, right?